Welcome, welcome. I'm Dr. Tracy Dickens, a licensed clinical psychologist who creates mental health education videos infused with faith. And today I'm going to be talking about shame. It is something that we all experience. It's a universal emotion and experience. It has a purpose and it's very destructive. But most of us don't even realize that it's found its way into our everyday life. But today I'm going to define it. I'm going to talk about its purpose. I'm going to talk about what makes it so destructive, and then I'm going to give you some tools that can help you identify it so you can live your best life. So come on, let's get started. When I was in elementary school, on every report card, I got the same 2 comments. Number 1, Tracy is a great student. Number 2, this may shock some of you, Tracy talks a lot. I know, me, I'm so quiet. I'm sure that's not a shock at all. I got it on every report card. And my parents got a little frustrated, and I get it. I mean, I do talk a lot. I mean, I talk in my sleep, for crying out loud. So yeah, it's an issue. So I did what any precocious elementary school kid would do. I learned sign language and how to pass notes better. Even though I found a way to use my talkativeness in other ways, it still lingers with me today that it is a problem. I often leave conversations wondering if I talk too much, did I bother that person? Are they gonna not talk to me again because I monopolized the conversation? And it just gives me the sense of I'm going to be rejected. That is the hallmark of the definition of shame. It's this belief that there's something about me, there's something about you that is so broken, so flawed that it can't be fixed. And it's so awful that our value as a person and our worth is just diminished, and therefore we are subjected to being rejected by other people. It's really painful, and we all experience it every single day. Now, I don't want to be dark and sinister about shame. It does serve a purpose. Dr. Curt Thompson said in his book on Soul of Shame that from a neuropsychological perspective, shame is not bad in and of itself. It is our system's way of warning of possible impending abandonment. When you think of in ancestral times, if somebody was doing something in the tribe that could put the tribe in harm's way, shame was the tool that was used to get that person back in line so the tribe could remain safe. So it does have a purpose. And for most of us, we start to experience it around the age of 15 to 18 months when our caregivers give us a look, you know, the mom look, the one that says, if I have to come over there, it's not going to be good. And then you change what you're doing because you know if she has to come over there, it is not going to be good. So it's that tone, it's that word that lets you know, hey, what you're doing is not okay. It is a problem, and if you don't stop, there's going to be a consequence. And that's where it slips into shame that can be very heavy for us to walk around with, because we start to believe that look is saying that I'm a problem. That tone of voice says I'm a problem and not the behavior that I'm doing is a problem. Because disapproval without separating the person and the behavior never motivates people to change. It usually does quite the opposite. And you see this in everyday life. Let's say you drop your child off at school and another mother gives your child a disapproving look as your child is walking into the building with store-bought cupcakes. Or let's say that you are getting feedback during your annual review from your supervisor at work and everything they're mentioning is negative. There's no positive information in there at all. Or let's just say that you're at home and you're watching a commercial and all the commercials just seem to suggest that you would be more attractive and more successful if you had these certain characteristics. And so you're left there just feeling, I mean, when those events happen to you, do you suddenly start making Pinterest level cupcakes? Do you start performing better at work? Do you suddenly start, exercising every single day and eating healthy and learning skills to make you this amazing, successful person? I'm going to venture and say, no, None of that happens. What it often does is it leads us to participate in behaviors to numb that feeling, to numb that need that we have to connect, because we're all designed to connect. We don't know how to fix that in ourselves, then we try and numb ourselves to that need. And C.S. Lewis says, sometimes I think that shame, mere awkward shame, senseless shame, does as much towards preventing good acts and straightforward happiness as any of our vices can do. And Brene Brown and other researchers that have looked into this area of shame would absolutely agree with C.S. Lewis's statement. Whenever we experience shame, we tend to do things like overeat and overwork. We lie and cheat, and we have affairs and use substances. We do all these things to try and deal with the fact that we feel rejected. And then we do those behaviors and we end up getting rejected, and it just reinforces this idea that there's something wrong with us. As a psychologist who has spent over 20 years seeing clients sit down for me, and I can say probably 99% of the behaviors that I see, the root is shame, that it's not just bad behavior and people making bad choices. It's people who are hurting, they are dealing with shame, and they don't even know that's the issue. Because when we focus on behaviors and ignore the roots, shame has the fertile ground of silence and darkness and denial to grow and expand, conquering your mind and your emotions. And it creates a false narrative about who you are and what you think other people think about who you are. And I know this probably sounds really dramatic and big, like seriously, is it really this significant? Yes, it is. We can go to the Bible and see just how significant shame is. It first shows up in Genesis 2:25 that says, Adam and his wife were naked and they felt no shame. This is so significant. First of all, shame is the first emotion mentioned in the Bible. There are so many emotions, and shame is the first one. And Adam and Eve were not ashamed to be in front of each other naked. And this word naked, this is speaking to a physical naked, but it's also speaking more to a emotional nakedness, a vulnerability and authenticity. They were truly who they were designed to be. There were no Spanx, there was no filter, there was no just for men, no cover girl. They were focused on God and God's love for them. And they were also focused on just loving each other and accepting each other and supporting each other, our true design. And that's why there was no shame, because if you truly love somebody for who they are, if you see their value, you're not going to do something that's going to put them in harm's way. If I have a diamond and I see the value of that diamond, I'm not just going to leave it out in my front yard. I'm not just going to throw it on the bed when I get home. I'm going to protect that diamond. And that's the kind of life they lived in Genesis 2:25. And it's hard for us to wrap our brains around that because we live in a Genesis 3 world where the serpent came in and everything changed. The shift went from, I'm going to lift you up and support you, to, oh my goodness, what's wrong with me? The shift went from God to self, and the world has never been the same since that point. Okay, if you were liking this video so far, push the like button down below and subscribe so you can come back and we can spend more time together. So like and subscribe. Now, you're probably wondering, so we know all this about shame, so okay, how can I identify it? If it's silent and if it's hidden, how do I know it's there? Well, I'm glad you asked. I got 4 things to look for to let you know that it's there. Okay, are you ready? Number 1. Look for authentic relationships in your life. Is there someone in your life that knows those dark areas, those mistakes that you've made in the past, those traumatic experiences, those quirks, and those little idiosyncrasies that you have? Is there somebody that knows the true you and all of your past? Now, not everybody needs to know your business. People they have to earn the right to know those areas that are sensitive and traumatic in our past. But is there somebody that knows them? Because if you're not telling anyone because you fear that you're going to be rejected, guess what? That's shame. Okay, number two. Has there been an interruption in your forward motion towards your goals, or are you out of alignment with your values? Okay, so if you had dreams and you had plans and you're not in alignment with that, you're doing things in a way that's separating you from those goals and that life that is positive and supportive and loving and adds value and purpose to this world and to your life. If you're not doing those things, that suggests that there's shame somewhere lurking around. Because in the absence of shame, you're going to pursue those goals because you see the value in yourself and you see the value in what you have to offer. Number three, assuming the worst about yourself and others. When we are experiencing shame, it is based on hearing a narrative from other people in society that there's something wrong with you. And over time, we often start to believe that narrative. We believe that it's true. And we are very hyper aware of those characteristics in ourselves and in other people that share those characteristics. So we assume the worst of ourselves and we assume the worst of those people that have similar characteristics. Number four, you are engaged in risky and reckless behavior. Again, if I have a diamond, I'm not throwing it around. I'm treating it well. So if I truly value myself and value the skills and the abilities that I have, I'm not going to be reckless with that. I'm going to develop those skills. I'm going to share those in a way that's valuable and rewarding for myself and for other people. I'm not going to be risky with it. Those are the things that you're going to be looking for in your life. I hope you walk away with a lot of things from this video, but if nothing else, I hope you walk away with this lingering in your mind long after this video ends. You are not your mistakes. You are not the awful things that people have done to you and said to you in the past. You are not your behaviors. We can always heal and change and grow and get more in line with who we are designed to be. We are designed to be people of influence and power and love. And when we are not aligned with that, we have opportunity to grow into that. And I need for you to stop listening to the liar. Got it? Okay. So comment below on how this video resonated with you. And I want you to take care of yourself and take care of others and have a blessed day. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.